As the country went through devastating earthquakes and typhoons, let's check on government aid extended to our people in calamity-stricken areas. Good morning. I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno, and this is At the Forefront. Earthquakes in Cebu and Davao, Typhoon Ramil battering the Visayas, and billions needed to rebuild what the disasters left behind. Through it all, one agency is moving quietly but relentlessly: the Department of Social Welfare and Development. From relief packs to evacuation setups, can the DSWD stay ahead of disaster and keep hunger and homelessness at bay? With us via Zoom is DSWD Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao. Good morning, ASEC Irene.
Good morning, Attorney Karen.
ASEC Irene, umpisahan muna natin sa Mindoro. Kamusta po ang lagay ng sitwasyon sa Mindoro ngayon?
Well, yung pong mga areas na naapektuhan ng mga previous typhoons, ang Department of Social Welfare and Development ay nagpahatid po ng mga family food packs and non-food items. Gayun din po, meron tayong implementation ng emergency cash transfer to support the early recovery of those who have been affected, particularly those whose houses have been partially or totally damaged. And aside from the food packs and non-food items that we have distributed, we have also assisted yung pong mga kababayan natin in terms of psychosocial interventions, because mahalaga yung incident stress debriefing and psychosocial mental health support services na binabahagi po natin. Hindi lamang po dito sa mga naapektuhan in Mindoro, but in all areas that have been adversely affected or na devastate ng mga sunod-sunod po ng mga kalamidad, Attorney Karen.
Okay. At sa ngayon po ba, patuloy pa rin yung pagbibigay ng tulong sa mga nasalanta ng Opong at Ramil?
That's correct, Attorney Karen. In fact, yesterday, galing po kami ng province ng Capiz. Nagtungo po tayo dyan sa Rojas City, and then we also visited Panay and Pontevedra, and we distributed family food packs to those na nasa mga evacuation centers pa. Likewise, we have also committed the distribution or dispatch of additional 30,000 family food packs, 25,000 in the province and additional 5,000 in Rojas City. And we have also committed to distribute emergency cash transfers, again to support yung pong rebuilding ng mga nasira ng mga tahanan, mga nasira ng mga kabuhayan, especially that most of the agriculture sector have been affected nito nga pong nagdaan na bagyong Ramil. And gayon din po, yes, the other day, no, galing naman din tayo ng Masbate. That was Monday. Kasi tinignan naman po natin yung tourism sector, yung pong mga tourism workers na naapektuhan ng nagdaang bagyong Opong, and we also distributed emergency cash transfers to them. Kasi mahalaga rin yung kanilang ambag sa pag-promote ng ating pong bansa. However, because nga of the typhoon that affected them, yung kanilang main source of income ay naapektuhan din. So, in partnership with the Department of Tourism, sinuportahan din natin sila. Last Friday, bumalik uli kami sa Cebu kasi tinignan din po namin yung mga naapektuhan ng nagdaang lindol, and we also provided additional goods to them aside from the commitment to also distribute emergency cash transfers. So, yes, nagpapatuloy po yung ating pagtulong sa ating pong mga kababayan na naapektuhan.
ASEC Irene, for those in Cebu, gaano po sila katagal maninirahan dun sa mga tent cities? May napanood po ako ng mga pamilya na nagsasabi na nagkakasakit na po sila doon.
Well, dito po sa mga binisita natin like in Bogo City, wherein ang camp manager kasi dyan is one of our partners, the Philippine Red Cross, naging maayos yung pong pag-set up nung mga tents na ibinigay nga ng Philippine Red Cross. And then maayos din po yung kalagayan ng ating mga kababayan. In fact, meron nga po doon na isang tent na clinic, nagsuserve siya as a clinic to serve yung mga kababayan natin with the medical needs. Gayon din po sa San Remedios, nagtungo rin tayo doon kasi may sinet up din tayo na tent city in partnership and in collaboration with DSUD. Kasi meron para tayong mga transitional shelters, ito yung mga white tents na sinet up ng DSWD. And after which, after staying in those areas, lilipat sila doon sa mga smart homes na create naman ng DSUD. So dito po meron, it's really a good community. Maayos yung mga facilities na sinet up natin, yung mga women and friendly spaces, yun din pong mga ibang mga equipments. We have the mobile kitchen. Meron din po doon sinet up na mobile shower. It came from the city government of Valenzuela. And other specialized equipments were set up. So maayos po no, yung sitwasyon ng ating pong mga internally displaced persons. Now, as to how long will they stay doon sa tent city po nila, of course, we work closely with the local government units. Sila po kasi yung magdedetermine na based on the damage assessment and needs analysis na kinandak kung hanggang kailan po mananatili yung kanila pong mga constituents in those temporary shelter sites. On the part of the DSWD, nakasuporta po kami sa kanila para sa provision ng mga food packs and non-food items at iba pang mga kakailanganin na tulong. We are deeply committed in ensuring that we support not only the local government units sa response phase ng ating ongoing disaster response operations, but likewise doon sa early recovery side nitong humanitarian action na isinasagawa po natin.
Okay. At yung pag sinasabi niyo pong nagbibigay kayo ng non-food packs, ano po ba yung non-food packs na nanggagaling from DSWD?
Yes, it's a good question, Attorney Karen, no? Kasi karamihan sa mga tao, ang nakikita po ay yung mga food packs and ready-to-eat food packs. Meron din po kaming mga non-food items. Ito po yung mga hygiene kits, sleeping kits, gayon din po yung mga modular tents, even family kits and mga ginagamit po para sa kusina. Yung family kits natin, meron po iyang mga laman na mga t-shirt, mga underwear, tsinelas na gagamitin po ng lahat ng miyembro ng pamilya. Doon naman sa hygiene kits, nandyan na po yung mga sabon, toiletries, and sa mga kitchen kits, makikita nyo po, meron kaming mga kaldero, may plato, may kutsara, frying pan, meron din po niyan. And yung mga modular tents natin, kasama na din po yung mga linalatag nila doon sa mga tents and gayon din po yung mga siniset up no para at least somehow meron pong mga may privacy pa rin po yung ating mga kababayan, especially if they share the tent with another family mula doon sa kanila pong barangay. So these are just some of the items. And I'd like to add na meron din po kaming water filtration kit. Malaking balde rin po siya na pwedeng paglagyan ng kahit maruming tubig. But because of the filtration system of that kit ay nakakapag-provide tayo ng mainom na tubig para sa ating mga kababayan. But apart from that, I also like to mention that we also have the mobile kitchen. We also have the water trucks and the water filtration trucks kasi mahalaga nga po na isa-isang community where internally displaced persons are taking temporary shelter in ay mabahagi na natin nito pong mga essential services so that we could ensure na maging maayos yung kanila pong mga kalagayan.
At hindi naman po ba problema ang water supply? So for example, sa tent cities, maayos po ba na meron silang mga toilets, restrooms, saka bathrooms?
That's correct. As camp manager and lead in camp management, the DSWD really ensures that there are sufficient and functional water and sanitation health facilities because dito po natin mapapangalagaan yung pong kalagayan ng ating mga kababayan. Nakakapaligo sila araw-araw, nakakapaghugas ng maayos, and likewise, yung sabi ko, no, may mainom, there's sufficient supply of potable water kasi mahalaga na ma-maintain yung kalinisan, kaayusan doon sa mga evacuation centers and ma-prevent kung ano man po yung mga sakit na maaring makuha at mahawa dito yung ating mga kababayan.
Okay. At doon naman po sa Western Visayas. Napakatindi po ng naging epekto ng Ramil, lalo na sa Iloilo City, Rojas at Aklan. Gaano po ka-widespread yung damage sa Western Visayas at ano po yung condition naman ng mga tao doon? Are they also in evacuation sites up to now?
Well, yesterday, doon sa ating briefing with the Rojas City LGU and the provincial government of Capiz, nabanggit nga na yung matindi yung pag-uulan na naranasan nila over the weekend, especially in Rojas City where they experienced around 397 millimeter of rainfall and talagang malakas yun. And that really caused damages to roads, to infrastructures, lalo na doon sa kanilang agrikultura. And kami naman po sa DSWD, tiniyak namin that we will provide augmentation support to the local government units. In fact, immediately ay nagpahatid po ang DSWD ng ready-to-eat food packs doon sa mga naapektuhang mga lugar, doon sa mga dinala sa mga evacuation centers. Kasi, Attorney Karen, sa mga ganito pong mga pagkakataon, hindi pa nakakapag-set up ng mga community kitchens, yung pong mga internally displaced persons natin, even the local government unit, may mga challenges pa na encounter. So, DSWD kasi has prepositioned ready-to-eat food packs and family food packs in our warehouses dyan po sa province. So, nakapag-provide kami agad. In fact, based on our 6 a.m. Monitoring, ay naka-distribute na nga po ng mahigit 30,000 na mga family food packs dyan sa Region 6. More than 2,500 were actually released ng mga ready-to-eat food packs. And as I've mentioned earlier, we have committed to increase or add the food packs that we've initially released to the LGUs.
Yung food packs po ba, ano yung mga laman nito? At pang ilang tao po ito, how long will it last?
Yes, the family food pack of DSWD, ito po yung kulay brown. This is good for 2 to 3 days and could serve a family of 5. Ang laman po niyan ay 6 kilograms of rice. Dalawa po yan na tag 3 kilos na vacuum packed. So that's 6 kilograms of rice. And then 10 assorted tin cans na meron kang corned beef, meron kang tuna flakes in oil, and sardines. Meron din po yung 5 sachets ng instant coffee and 5 sachets ng choco drink. Again, that's designed for a family of 5. Na merong pong, of course, merong adults and merong pong children. Yung ready-to-eat food packs po natin, ang laman po niyan, may champurado, meron din pong arroz caldo, and then chicken pastil, and chicken giniling, and then tuna paella in can. And meron din po yung energy biscuits, and then complimentary food for lactating moms. So, kompleto na po iyan. No? And that's the white box. It's a smaller box as compared to the brown box. But it's distributed in the first 48 hours after a disaster strikes.
At after po niyan, ngayon, yung mga matagal lang nasa tent city, meron na silang mobile kitchens or sariling kinukuhaan ng pagkain para hindi na po kailangan mag-deploy ng food packs all the time.
That's correct, Attorney Karen. Ang lahat ng mga field offices po namin, meron po kaming mga na-acquire na mga mobile kitchens together with our mobile command centers. So yung mobile kitchen po namin, dineploy namin dyan sa mga lugar na naapektuhan. And then in Cebu, since talagang massive yung naging epekto ng malakas na lindol, other mobile kitchens from regions na hindi naman po naapektuhan ng anumang kalamidad ay dinala o pinadala yung kanila pong specialized equipment para makatulong dyan sa Northern Cebu and ensure that all of the affected municipalities ay meron pong naka-standby na mobile kitchen to provide hot meals sa mga kababayan po natin. Alam niyo po, while we are providing ready-to-eat food packs and then family food packs, we wanted to make sure that there are other food hot meals in particular served for our affected kababayan. Kasi hindi po lahat ay nakukuha mula sa mga family food packs. And of course, we need to make sure also that the other nutritional requirements of our internally displaced persons or disaster-affected families ay nasa-serve din o na-address din po natin. That's the
Okay.
reason why we have deployed our mobile kitchens.
Okay. Asek Irene, nung panahon po ni Speaker Martin Romualdez and Congressman Zaldico, mataas po yung na-budget doon sa mga ayuda programs and kinikilala rin ng marami na brainchild daw ni dating Chairman of Appropriations, Congressman Zaldico, yung AKAP program. Ngayon po na bago na ang leadership sa House. How are the ayuda programs doing? Patuloy pa rin po ba ito? But before you answer this question, we'll have to take a short break. At the forefront, we'll be right back. Welcome back at the forefront. And we still have with us Assistant Secretary Irene of the DSWD. ASEC Irene, hi. Nung time po ni Speaker Martin Romualdez at Congressman Zaldico, tumaas po yung funding for ayuda programs, and we also had a new ayuda program called AKAP, which a lot of people say is the brainchild of then Appropriations Chairman Congressman Zaldico. With the change of House leadership, patuloy pa rin po ba ang mga ayuda programs?
Well, Attorney Karen, of course, ang Department of Social Welfare and Development as an implementing agency ay tinitiyak po na kung ano man po yung nakareflect ng mga programa, pondo, doon sa ating General Appropriations Act at sa mga umiiral po ng mga batas ay maayos nating na ipapatupad at yung pong implementation, of course, guided naman ng mga guidelines that we have drafted or formulated in coordination with various stakeholders. Now, ito pong assistance to individuals in crisis situation and yung ayuda para sa Kapos ang Kita program. These are social assistance na talaga namang nasa-serve yung pong mga needs ng ating mga kababayan, especially the poor, the vulnerable, and the marginalized. And for the past months that we have been implementing what was stipulated in our General Appropriations Act, we can say na marami po tayong natulungan. And yes, nagpapatuloy po ito sapagkat meron naman pondo na nakalaan para po dito. And it's part of our mandate to ensure that lahat po ng mga lumalapit ng tulong sa DSWD ay nababahaginan nga po ng appropriate assistance. Of course, sabi ko nga, lahat naman ito dumadaan or all our actions are guided, of course, by guidelines. And sinusunod po natin ito, Attorney Karen.
ASEC Irene, so ano po yung mga currently ayuda programs that are being implemented by the DSWD?
Well, of course, yung assistance to individuals in crisis situation, nagpapatuloy po ito. It's a stopgap measure to ensure that families and individuals na nakaka-experience po ng crisis and are in need because of certain shocks that have adversely affected their other families ay nakaka-receive nga po ng tulong like medical, burial, transportation, even food relief assistance, pati na yung psychosocial interventions and other referral services ay bahagi po kasi ng assistance to individuals in crisis.
Magkano po ba ang AIX per person?
Depende po ang tulong na naipapabot natin sa AIX sapagkat nagkakaroon po ng assessment ng ating social workers. Halimbawa po for medical assistance, in particular hospital confinement, depende po kung magkano pa yung bill na natitira o kinakailangang isettle ng individual na lumalapit sa DSWD. Gayun din po, depende rin doon sa mga documentary requirements na isinusumite sa DSWD. That's why merong vetting process na ginagawa po ang aming pong ahensya and merong assessment na ginagawa yung ating pong mga social workers. Gayun din po no, sa iba ring mga assistance like burial, na kung saan tinitingnan talaga kung isa sa mga tinitingnan dyan ay yung contract with the funeral partner.
So pagka po ba, yun, like you said, hospital bill, AIX po yun. Akala namin may MAIX pa yung medical assistance program din. So, AIX din ang hospital expenses po.
Yes, under hospital or under medical assistance po, yung hospital confinement ng assistance to
So,
individuals.
yun yung MAIX po. MAIX ba? Tama ba?
I think the MAIP is different because
MAIP,
that's
yeah.
with the Department of Health.
Okay.
For the SWD, it's AIX Medical Assistance.
Okay, magkaiba. So, meron ding medical assistance pala under DSWD, under the AIX program. Okay, and then
That's
yung AKAP naman, ang AKAP po ba fixed naman yung amount na ito?
Well, yung sa Ayuda para sa Kapos ang Kita program, again, dahil nga may mga documentary requirements na isinasubmit yung ating pong mga clients, and there's an assessment being undertaken by our social workers, magkakaiba rin po yung amount na nai-provide po sa ating clients.
Okay. Kasi naalala po namin dati, parang merong mga iba-ibang kwento na pumipila yung mga tao, tapos parang fixed amount ang binibigay sa kanila. So, ang akala namin ay AKAP ay, let's say, 5,000 na per person. So, hindi po ganon.
That's correct, Attorney Karen. Magkakaiba po because merong assessment na ginagawa yung ating pong mga social workers.
Well, ngayon po na tapos na election, would you say na meron pa ring same concern na pagka nagbibigay ng mga ayuda programs ay may mga politicians that are within the vicinity or na nandoon din during the distribution?
Attorney Karen, nakalagay po doon sa ating joint memorandum circular for the implementation of the Ayuda para sa Kapos ang Kita program na dapat walang political actors present during the payout events or payout activities of the department. Likewise, wala rin po dapat mga campaign materials na makikita doon po sa mga isinasagawa natin na activities. And isa po yan doon sa talagang tinutukan ng ating pong departamento. In fact, nakalagay din doon sa Joint Memorandum Circular na dapat merong grievance desk sa lahat ng ating mga payout events to make sure that if there are any complaints, ay immediately ma-address po ng ating pong mga kababayan because sa lahat po present si DSWD, we recognize the partnership that we have with local government units, especially that they help us or they assist us in terms of logistical requirements. Sila po nagpro-provide ng mga payout venues. But then we explain it to them na dapat ang nandun lamang po sa mga ginagawa namin na distribution ng tulong ay ang DSWD personnel.
Okay. Asik Irene, in the past, nagkaroon po ng study that showed that during Typhoon Yolanda, nagkaroon ng decline doon sa performance ng DSWD at that time. Decline in the performance with respect to their regular mandate because the agency was overwhelmed with what they had to do to respond to Typhoon Yolanda because there were about 171 cities and municipalities affected. Sa ngayon po na sunod-sunod itong mga kalamidad sa Pilipinas, are you seeing the same challenge with DSWD or are there any gaps that the agency has identified na kailangan tugunan po?
Under the leadership of Secretary Rex Gatchalian, he made sure na lahat po ng mga undersecretaries natin ay merong tinututukan po na programa ng departamento. Dapat running po lahat ng mga yan regardless of the circumstances or challenges that we are facing in our country. Kung kaya nga po, even with the numerous disasters that we've experienced and the ongoing disaster response operations of the department, Secretary Rex Gatchalian makes sure that the other programs and services of the department continue to run as if we are in a normal situation. Yan po yung kanyang talagang tinututukan and sa totoo lang po yung mga communication lines po, lahat ng mga communication platforms na ginagamit po ng DSWD, nakikita po natin how Secretary Rex Gatchalian instructs and provides guidance to all the clusters of the department. Again, to make sure that nagpapatuloy po yung mga programa at serbisyo natin, hindi po nai-interrupt dahil may mga circumstances nga po tayo na kinakaharap. So, kahit si Secretary Rex Gatchalian ay nasa field, tumutulong siya sa mga LGUs, alam po natin na yung mga ibang programa ay tumatakbo pa rin po ng maayos.
Okay, so mukhang wala po kayong pahinga. Maraming salamat po, ASEC Irene Dumlao, and good luck po sa DSWD.
Thank you very much, Attorney Karen, for having us this morning. Magandang umaga.
Thank you. When calamity strikes, every second counts. At times, the difference between despair and dignity is a family food pack delivered on time. The DSWD's work doesn't end with relief. It begins with foresight and preparation. If every community is trained to stand ready, then maybe one day, no Filipino will be left behind. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news. Always stay at the forefront. Join us again tomorrow for conversations on issues that matter. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Thank you for spending your Wednesday morning with us.